What you doing? I'm the AC, and this is Alcoholandanime! Woo! Okay, so, I'm finally doing this. I'm finally doing an Alcoholandanime episode about the film Driftinghome. You probably already realized which film I'm talking about, but there's just so much that went into finally getting around to do this one that I will talk about later because there's plenty to talk about. Probably not as much as I'm thinking, but as far as like how long it took me to get to this point, it feels like a lot to talk about. So let's talk about first thing I always talk about, which also has a little bit of dilemma, I guess. The alcohol, because this is alcohol and anime. So what I drank for this and drinking now is. Did I ever give it a name? I guess I'm naming it Drifting Home. It is whiskey and blue curacao, specifically Canadian whiskey, because that's what I preferred up until I started drinking more for this, and then I was like, maybe I like other whiskeys more. I don't know. I had a fondness for Canadian whiskey, got it. Ooh, and here's the thing. I got some blue curacao, specifically like the Do Kuiper. What's that brand? I don't know. I forget the brand because I don't have the bottles on me. I'll get to that. But it's not just that. It's also like a punch, like theme punch flavor type of blue curacao. And whenever I first got these, I mixed them together just to try. Because here was my thinking. Okay, water, want something blue, and then like home. What's the most homely kind of liquor? I was thinking, oh, whiskey. And I was like, if I'm drinking anything at home, and not specifically my home all the time, but like the most home to be liquor, if I make any sense, I think of as whiskey. Maybe that's just because of where I grew up. Which you can probably tell by how I sound. But yeah, whiskey is the more homely thing. I was like, okay, why don't do like it's a home on the water and it's like get the whiskey to float on the blue curacao. I was like, can that even work? Like I know liquid weight physics and how that works, and it should theoretically work, but I had my doubts, and I was like, well, I gotta try. So I went and got that, and surprisingly, it works. The whiskey does float on top of the blue curacao, and then I was like, okay, that's nice. It wasn't cold yet. I was like, nothing about ice or being cold necessarily in the name or description because that's all I knew at the point of first trying this out. So I was like, I'll just float a piece of ice in there, and there we go. Good enough. A single piece of ice for like a single building. And so I was hyped because the physics of that actually worked. I made the drink how I imagined it. The whiskey isn't like the most vibrant color to look at, so it was kind of a hard difference, but you could actually visibly see the line of the whiskey and the blue curacao. I only put it was mostly blue curacao with just like topping it just enough to see the whiskey on top. But here's the disappointing part of what happened is when I first tried it, it tasted terrible. It was one of the worst drinks I probably made. I don't know exactly what happened because that was when did I first back in February, March? Yeah, going back in time because this is when I first tried making the drink. Not the first time I tried when I watched the movie. First time I actually got around to making this drink. And then here we are, a math of number of months later, February, March, into September. And it's better for some reason. I don't know if I just did different ratio. I don't remember exactly the ratio of blue curacao to whiskey. Maybe I used more blue curacao, less whiskey, or something like that. Maybe my ice cube was bigger and that diluted it more. Maybe I don't know. It tasted better, and which is weird because I feel like my taste or a tolerance for the taste of liquor has been going down, so it should be taste worse to me theoretically, and it actually tasted better, and I was surprised, and I'm feeling decently good because of it. Yeah, but here's the problem: is I said that was so many months ago. Then I didn't get to record, so I kept drinking it. This whiskey, the blue curacao separately with different things, and then I was like, oh shit, I need to record this, but I need to make sure I save at least enough for it. So I saved enough for to watch the movie. That's when I drank most of it, and I was like, shit, I don't have time to record, so I have to save a little bit more for the actual recording, which I have now. And yeah, it's fine, but it was disappointing that first time. I don't know what happened that made it better. But that's my drifting home drink. It's just blue curacao topped with whiskey. Don't use Canadian whiskey. I'm sure there's a better whiskey. Maybe try something else. Maybe not a super sweet, because it needs to be more pure whiskey to help it float. And then, I don't know, you don't need ice. Maybe if you can think of something more homely to float on top. And yeah, I was kind of proud of it now, because it's probably the most creative drink I've made so far that I can think of, at least, and actually done. And I feel like it's original. I haven't looked up to see if blue curacao whiskey is a drink already, but honestly, probably not, because, like I said, not great. And it's not like, okay, not like after all these months, I really like it. It's better. Not good, just better. So might as well talk about it, because I'm not going to do it. I also, at the time I first started making these drinks, I was like, okay, I also thought about bringing my alcoholandanime skits back. I'm just going to abandon that for a long while now, because I just don't have time to do them. I keep accidentally putting more effort into them than I wanted. But I'll go ahead and talk at least about what I plan on doing, alcohol related. So I was going to find something to also float in my tub and just fill it up with water, and then get my drink, put that on top, and then put me like just laying in my tub, submerged in water, with just like the blue curacao whiskey with my drifting home drink just like floating up to me the best I could, and just like kind of make it dramatic or dull. I don't know. Either way, I'm not doing it, and it'll be stupid either way. But I don't know. It shouldn't be too much work if that's all it is, but they always do, and I just don't have time as much as I want to do them. So I thought I'll at least share my idea. If you all listen to this and you want to see that, and you really do, I would first have to go get more of that liquor. Or I might just make like a little house, a little floating home, and have that float in the water. Or a little building of some kind. I don't really maybe I can make a little something that would work. But yeah, if people really want to see these again, I could do it. But I don't know. They're a lot of work for, I don't know. I mean, they're fun to make, and they're stupid too. But I'm just trying to do so much other stuff. And because it's like, I need another person to record or help record those, because logistics for recording those are just kind of a pain. I just don't always have all that. So you at least know what I want to do. You can imagine it yourself. I know if you're just listening to this and you've never seen me before, you can't picture where I am. Just imagine a weirdo. Ooh, not too weird though. Yeah. Look, I don't know. Look me up. I'll give you all my socials and stuff, and take that and picture me just in the tub with a drink floating up to me. That's it. That's all it is. Maybe black and white, or maybe some other kind of color tone. It's just like maybe sad or serene, watery music to go along with it. So that's the alcohol part. I'm not going to make drinks for all the kids, because they're kids and they can't drink, because alcohol is for adults, because I'm responsible, and it'll be weird to make an alcoholic drink based off of children. Were there adults? Nah, there's not really any important adults to talk about in this. Yeah, they're pretty much all adults. So I'm just going to leave it with that one drink. Okay, so I already kind of mentioned getting to this, but finally getting to watch and record this podcast have been just sad, because my life has been different since this first came out, and my podcast keeps coming on and off, and I forgot, or stuff pops up that keeps me from doing it, and whatever. But it's been over a year since I originally planned on watching this and doing this podcast, and it wasn't supposed to be. I, I was watching Netflix, like what do you call it? I saved it on Netflix before it went because I saw it come out. I thought it'd be interesting to do. Then I just stopped using Netflix, and since I never used Netflix, I never saw when it came out again. I never got that alert and all that stuff. And it came out and I forgot about it, and then I started using Netflix again. Maybe wait, no, was it Allison? No, Allison Border. I don't know. Something came out that made me want to use Netflix again. I guess it was Alice in Borderland that came out, and that's why I started using it. And I saw it again. That was in the winter, right? I don't know. So, and then I'm like, oh, I need to watch this and do an episode on it. Then, other things just kept coming out. At the same time, I realized I need to do this, and I was like, this one's older. These are literally coming out. They're more recent. I should do these now because that would be more popular. Which I hate doing things just because they're popular, but it makes more sense to do a film that came more out and people will be more aware of, even though I want to do it. So that kept happening, and then it's just like breaks kept happening, and then come, like I said, February or March. I think it was like February. I think it was the Kaguya-sama Love is War movie came out around Valentine's Day, I think. Or wait, no, it took place in Christmas, and it came out in theaters in Valentine's Day, and then like I think it came out on Crunchyroll a month later. So yeah, it would have been around March or something. January, February, March. Yeah. And then so I did that, and I was okay. I'm going to do Drifting Home right after. Then live, and then this weird thing happened in March where I moved, and that messed up everything. And I got, which no, I did Kaguya-sama after I moved, so I must have been planning to do it before I moved. And then when I got settled down and moved again, I was like, I want to do it, but Kaguya-sama's here, and then, dang. And then everything just kept getting weird and messed up. Me trying to figure out a schedule and doing other stuff. I don't even know exactly which ones I've put out since then, but it just kept, new things kept coming out, and I kept putting on Drifting Home, and then everything just kept, I kept trying to do birthdays, and then I get on roll that, then something will happen again, job stuff, money stuff, worry about student loans, and then not having to, and then doing it, getting a second job, and then not happening, and then, oh, so many things, and Drifting Home just, the chance to do it just drifted away, and then I joked, I was like, it was like August, and I was like, well, I guess I could just wait until it's been a 1 year anniversary. But then I was like, no, I'm just going to go ahead and do it because otherwise I'll forget. And then guess what happened? I forgot. And now it's September. And then I recorded it so that it would, or then I watched it so that I record it and get it out by the anniversary of the 1 year of it being out, which is September 16th, 2022. And it would have happened, but I forgot. So it is now 3 days past that. It is now September 19th, 2023. It's been a year and 3 days. I'm finally getting around to recording, and I'm probably just going to put it out edit it as quick as I can, put it out right now, because it's been so long. I don't want to forget anymore. I'm so sorry, Drifting Home. I've been trying. I can't believe I kept forgetting. I'm so disappointed too, because I don't remember what popped up, because I had to do something. I remember I was very drunk doing it. Maybe someone came over, maybe I had to, I don't know, but I couldn't record it right after I watched it. And I was going to do it the next day, and it's a week later now, because I will put it out on the 16th. And then I didn't, and now it's like a week later, and I'm disappointed in myself, and you should be disappointed in me too. Boa! Too bad. I'm getting over it, and it's gonna be put out finally, whether or not. And now, because I didn't put it out last week, I got in a roll of, I even put one out, and it would have been 2 weeks, but then because I missed last week when I was supposed to put it out, it's now a 3 week gap. What one did I just do? Oh, it was Zom 100. Yeah, so which was also not meant to be done, but I did. So yeah, that's just the complication and aggravation, just the dumbness on my part of trying to get this. It's been over a year now. I hope people still listen to this. I hope people watched the movie, if anything, because it actually was an enjoyable movie. I liked it. Not like the most spectacular thing. It's pretty simple for the most part, but there's should be plenty to talk about at least. I have a whole page of notes, so just cram full. And I hope I can read them because my handwriting sucks. So let's just move on. Actually, talk about the film. So yeah, Drifting Home. Like I said earlier, it came out in Japan and Netflix because it is a Netflix film on September 16th, 2022. It's from Studio Colorido. Is that right? Yeah, I don't know. And written and directed by Hiroyasu Ishida. Apparently, the two of them worked together, the studio and the director, quite a bit. The studio also did like Penguin Highway, Whisker Way, which I did a video on a podcast. No, I still haven't watched Penguin Highway. I need to do that. So yeah, there's a few notable works, at least I know of, from this studio, and from what I can tell, Drift Home really fits right in with the style. So I could, if I would have been thinking about it, could have probably guessed. Oh yeah, Drift Home feels like it came from the same one that did Whisker Away. But yeah, pleasantly surprised to also see that it's supposedly a 2 hour movie, 2 hours 47 seconds as I have written down. But after taking out credits and just focus on the film itself and all the other weird stuff Netflix adds at the end of the film, it's only really like an hour 53 minutes, which still nearly 2 hours. I'm glad, even with what seems like a simple premise, it still had plenty to it, and uh, I I say this all the time. I mean, I'm really just a broken record of lots of things I say. I think most movies should be. I think all movies should be at least 2 hours, especially something like this, something you would see in a theater. There's no excuse. Anyone that is like, that's too long of a time. They should just get the story over with. No, shut the fuck up. There's so much story to tell in all these films, and you just want to cut out the actual stuff that actually makes the story like engrossing and makes you really feel part of it. People want to just cut out and be like, I just want like the main whatever bits. So yeah, it says 2 hours. It's nearly 2 hours. Good enough for me. I'm always glad when that happens. But anything else? Just information wise about the movie? Nah, nothing else I can really think of. So let's talk about the actual film. Uh, Going into it, I didn't really know what to expect. Something kind of magic-y, whatever. I mean, maybe apocalyptic, but not really. Because it's just these kids in a building that's floating away for whatever reasons. Who knows? But the background, at least, is like these Kamonomiya apartments. They're getting tore down. Which, just other note, they're apparently haunted, but also these buildings have only been around for 60 years, which to me feels like not a lot of time for apartment buildings to be around, but I don't know how long I'm pretty sure my apartment building I'm living in now has only been around for like a few years. So I don't know. But yeah, that sounds like a short time. They're apparently haunted, and people tend to stay away from them. And then the two main characters, uh, Kosuke and Natsume, they go and visit their grandpa. I think it's really only Kosuke's grandpa. But yeah, they used to live there, and really, Natsume seems sadder and spends a lot of time there, and apparently knows this ghost, this other kid or whatever. But Kosuke's group of friends, Taishi, Yuzu, their soccer club, part of soccer club. Really, that doesn't matter anymore. But I'll write it down. They go and explore with Kosuke, and then they find like Natsume asleep in a cabinet, a locker, or something like that. And then she goes to introduce them to this ghost named Nopo who lives in a tent on the roof. Don't know why. I guess we don't. They think it's a ghost, but then eventually it just seems like Nopo's like a real boy. And then these two other girls who I make a know about it. Yeah, I did. So there's two other girls named Reina and Juri. No, they see them up on the roof and doing whatever, so they decide to go up too. And just a dumb little note: Reina is supposed to be going to land, just land in Florida, and even wears like a Miami shirt in it. Just keeps referring to land in her trip, and these are little kids, so they'd be excited for it. But I mean, obviously, they're talking about Disney World, but also referring to Disneyland. And it's like, okay, but so excited for that. But it's also like Florida in general. Sorry, people, the good people of Florida. You know, I'm not talking about you, but the other people of Florida and just shit there. Florida is just a garbage place at this point. Like I said, not the good people, but you know what I mean. Sorry you have to live there, or it's not better for you. So yeah, that's just a weird little, not even a joke, just something that's part of her personality, I guess. Whatever. Anyways, so there's just like, what do you call it? Like bickering kind of about Nopo and just the whole drama and just sadness of the building getting torn down. There's a part where, for some reason, Natsume like runs on top of this thing just sticking up. I don't even know what it is. It's just like a almost like a pillar. And Kosuke tries to go after her. She falls off, and then there's a downpour that just happens and washes them away. Um, Building all of them on there, and uh, somehow Natsume doesn't drift away differently. Still, I guess within the vicinity of the apartment building. I want to say school because usually it's school, not apartment buildings. So after this, everyone's just thinking it's like Natsume's fault, which hey, it kind of it is kind of. Don't know how magic worked, but it really seems like it. Or maybe that it's some kind of disaster, hurricane that somehow washed them all away in like no time at all, or a prank, or it's Nopo, the ghost boy who's haunting them. Because at this point, they still haven't seen him. And apparently, Natsume's been at sea in this apartment before, and just thought it was a dream. I forgot about that because I don't feel like that bit not is brought up ever again later. Maybe to her it really was a dream. It wasn't really this, but yeah, that's brought up and it's never mentioned again. It's never become a real issue, anyways. But yeah, they they're just trying to do whatever. It's kind of not really lags. They do eventually meet Nopo. He does just seems like a regular boy. He's kind of just like hiding out in a room. But for now, they had like stored up food, ramen, chips, some green tea, I think it was, and they're trying to live off of that. But it runs out pretty fast. I guess in 4 days is what they said. Um, and I guess things are just getting pretty dire. They're trying to like find rescue, trying to see which way's home. Everyone's just kind of getting on edge. Also, I'm sure they're stinky. They're little kids already, so they're already gross. But after all this, I'm sure it's not great for them either. Then eventually, there's a building that comes up, and uh, Nas Kosuke zips on over. Eventually, Natsume follows, and it turns out it was like their torn down third grade. Um, and they're exploring, looking all over food. Eventually, find a vending machine, which I don't know if the food in it will still be good, but whatever, you gotta eat, gotta eat. But also, it's just the magic of, I feel like it's addressed, but not really like really thought about too much about at this point of like, why is this random building you thought was torn down still existing? But they find a vending machine, they're trying to break it open. They're sucking at it really bad. Man, those vending machines must be hella reinforced because they really did try. I'll say that. And then eventually, just a bag of food's left for him. Don't know where that come from. Someone left it. Definitely get to sense that, but we don't know who it is. But now they have more rations at least. And to get back, stuff's going on. We're getting more history, I guess. Apparently, Nopo's been there since the apartment was built, and just situations occurring where you find out you have like plants growing from his arms. And then just flashbacks to like Kosuke's birthday at a hospital and Grandpa dying. Thinking it's I know what happened. I'm making sure it doesn't. I'm just gonna go ahead and say what the complete flashback works because it breaks up the flashbacks throughout more stuff, but the full flashback is pretty much them being upset, Kosuke being with his grandpa and Natsume, but Natsume gets upset, runs away. His grandpa sends Kosuke after her, and then he dies, and then yeah, so his grandpa dies on his birthday. Yeah, that's kind of sad. But so yeah, then more time they see a department place store going, and the somehow, even though at this point you pretty much figure out Nopo is just the spirit of the building. I'm assuming it was the spirit of their third grade that gave them the food, even though I still don't know where that food came from. But somehow Nopo goes too, which makes no sense. You think he would have to stay with the building, but I guess they're close enough. I don't know. But yeah, then they see some vision. Nothing important, really. Kind of creepy a bit, I guess, at some points. But then buildings crashing each other. Ooh, everyone. I'm dumb. I know what happens, but the note I put is everyone's just trying to fall because everyone's just falling all over the place. There's some weird shadow thing in the water. I don't remember who is who with the other two friends. Taishin and Yuzu, one of those try to almost fall. try to while helping Juri falls and is knocked out, and then Nopo goes and tries to help, and his foot gets caught by the shadow thing and like disintegrated, I guess. Did I ever say what the shadowy thing actually was? I don't think it did. Wait, maybe my notes to say later, so I'll get to that. I don't know. But yeah, we get more backstory. We learn that Natsume's parents fought a lot and eventually was brought to Kosuke's grandpa. I don't know. Just backstory stuff, kind of random. It makes sense because what else is going to be happening in between these things? And now that I think more about it, it really was kind of like a here's the thing that happens, here's some backstory. It's like time's just passing, and you need time to pass, and you're trying to think. But it's just kind of like a survival story. It's not like action is always going to be happening. But then more stuff does happen because the apartment is sinking. Nopo is getting worse. There's some blue lights and more visions, and so they plan to build a raft and leave Nopo because I mean it's Nopo's the spirit building. That makes sense. And just when they're leaving and things are getting real bad, they literally woke up in water. But no, Natsume swims back and it's storming. Then there's more blue light that shows visions of her family, and they think they get home. Kosuke tried to go back, but he can never reach it. That building just takes off, apparently. Don't know how. They're floating in separate directions. I guess water physics are different in Magic Sea. I don't know. But, yeah. Then they use... so weird. Then they use like a fast passing Ferris wheel to go back. It has its own spirit, too. And it's like, oh. And I think... Who was it? Someone recognized. I think it was Reina recognized. Oh yeah, of course it would be Reina, who liked the Ferris wheel because she wants to go land in Florida. Oh yeah, I guess that makes some more sense now, if I'm right. And so yeah, uses Ferris wheel to pull the apartment out of the water. Doesn't work. Kosuke and Natsume almost sucked into the black stuff, but Nope radiates the blue light, and then things kind of get better. They leave the Ferris wheel behind, go back to the apartments, and just drift off more. I don't know what happens with Ferris wheel. They could have went together, now that I think about it, because they finally find a land where only Nopo can get off. It's like this whole time they were drifting for him to find a home with a place of abandoned buildings, but he wasn't even abandoned. What about all these older places? What are they doing? Is there some kind of secret for these buildings to be able to pass on? I don't know. It's weird, but yeah. So once Nopo gets off, there's a blue light that eventually is able to take him back, and so when they get back, they still have injuries. There's no explanation for what happened. And uh, what else? All right, make a. Oh yeah. So I don't remember if anything's ever explained. I don't remember really much of the outcome. I feel like they're somehow they take time to explain stuff, but also not make stuff make sense. Which I get it. It's like a magical floating building with a spirit child, and I don't know. I guess it's because I want more. Wow, nearly 2 hours, and I still want more. I want to know what happened to other buildings. With the third grade, with the Ferris wheel, what's this land like? Maybe they could do a sequel, Drifting Home to the land. I like how in my notes, and I'll share these notes eventually if you want to follow my Kofi. But I've put land in quotation marks because I guess it does kind of reference land in Florida, and Florida is just a swamp mess of a place. Huh. Is this whole thing just referring to Florida? I don't know. Maybe. What were they even building over these apartments? Now that I think about it, man, there's a lot of questions. Maybe I should have went back. I really feel like I know I'm remembering everything, but there's small details. Like if you think too much about it, like there might be more there I may just be missing. And I'm not sure if I am missing anything because it doesn't feel like it, but they're like there must be. I'm sure there is, because maybe too much time has passed and I drank too much to remember everything. Also, uh, just in general, like I mentioned earlier, I got pretty drunk while watching this. I was feeling real good. Whatever I did after, I went somewhere. I know. I was doing good at. Nothing important, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been that drunk. So that's it. That's the story. I don't remember. Did anything else happen? They're all just good and fine. Did Raina get to go to land? Do they live happily ever after? Is their soccer club any good? I don't know. But Jury Jury is someone I thought just wouldn't really matter. Really, the friends at all, and they kind of do have a important part throughout it. I do remember that, just being like, oh shit, like things are kind of getting bad. Actually thinking Jury could almost die. And what was the black stuff? I would have wrote it down if it mattered, but I didn't. So the black stuff must have never got explained. Or maybe I thought I would remember. Who actually knows? So I guess that's kind of sad. And, I know this podcast was a lot more just me running through what happens. Go watch it. It's a lot better than what I explained because as I talked about, I was like, oh yeah, like there's. I mean, I kind of said there wasn't much to it, but it's kind of I wouldn't say chill, but interesting little film to watch. Um, I guess a little bit of emotional value in it. I don't know. No, I do. Okay, so there is and I even have a note here. It's like it makes us care about a building by trying to make it a person and give all these buildings and stuff like a personality. And I get it because you care more about children or whatever. Honestly, as me, I don't really like people that much, or I don't care that much about people. But I remember places I liked and spent a lot of time in, or just my old homes I really like. And I don't know. Now thinking more of it, it is kind of like a sentimental, like sadness to it. Just thinking about these places that were abandoned. I don't remember if, or I don't remember, or I don't know of places that I spent a lot of time in that were torn down. Because usually, at least where I came from, if a place is not used anymore, there's a couple schools, elementary schools I know of that I went to and just been around that yeah they're not schools anymore, but they're repurposed to like community centers or just used for something else. And so it's not that sad. My old homes, I kind of miss, but now other people are living in them. There's one house I want to live in, and there's a whole story I want to write about it. That I just want to go back because it was in the middle of the woods and it was nice and it was serene. And I miss that house. I literally had dreams about going back to it, and I used to play those woods, and that makes me sad, and it makes me want to go back and do all that. But yeah, I mean, leaving a place is sad. Every time I move to a new place, I was like, I always think like fondly of my old place. It happened where I lived at, all the places I lived at. during my undergrad. I kept being like, oh man, I really miss how it felt like that last dorm I lived in, and now moving back dorm, I was like, actually, it was kind of nice. Now moving on a house, and actually, there's my first house I lived in during my undergrad. I really do like and still wish I lived in like that kind of life. But it was also me leading up to turn 21, and then we just literally partied and drank every night. So that was maybe that's why. My next house, it was fine. I guess it was nice. Then another apartment when I moved to Hawaii, and then now I'm at the point of missing the house I lived in Hawaii, and the apartment I'm in now, not in Hawaii. And I keep being like, man, I miss Hawaii, and just that house and how chill it was. Because I mean, the apartment I'm in fine, but maybe it's because it's just new and I don't have memories in it yet. So I just gotta build up memories, and it's a nice little place. But I usually spend most of my time working. So even though I have like a little patio outside or whatever, I don't spend as much time outside reading on it like I did when I was in Hawaii on my lanai. So yeah, like there's that sentimental mental value and like buildings and where you lived and a drifting home and just drinking at those homes. So I get it. Oh dang. Well, now I miss all those other places too. Yeah, just thinking about it. I'm a very like I'm not one to hold on to the past, but like just thinking about those times and it's I don't know. It's a weird attitude I have. Like the better it is for me, the not less happy I am. But I remember the times I had a lot less and I wasn't doing as well and was struggling more. And I just think so fondly of it. And maybe I just miss the struggle and the places I lived and the people I was with. And now I'm doing much better. And maybe it just becomes more boring and mundane, or I'm just working on doing what I like. And I don't hate it, but it's like those are the times. Just having less and being able to enjoy it is really so. It's a great thing. You don't need a lot of stuff to enjoy life, and just whatever. I don't know. I feel like this is going off on a tangent, not related. So I'll switch gears here. Um, but yeah, overall, it's a decent movie. Go check it out. It's on Netflix. Nearly 2 hours, so I guess it's a commitment if you're one of those people that whines about time. Like, it's an experience. Don't you want... Why even watch a movie if you don't want to sit down for the full experience and enjoy it and, like, really dive in and enjoy it? Like, I kind of probably sounded a little negative about the flashbacks and going back, but, like, that's part of it, and it's needed. Uh, but... I don't know. I'm fine with it being 2 hours. And when I thought and talked about it more, I would have been fine with a little bit more just to know more of what was going on because apparently some stuff could have still been explained. Do I really have a favorite part? There wasn't any alcohol drinking, like I said. There was kids. Maybe there was in like flashbacks or scenes or stuff like that. And I'm just forgetting about it. Like I don't know. Maybe it had some. Maybe Natsume's parents were drinking, or one of them, or whatever, and that's why it was bad. Maybe his grandpa drank around him. Who knows? They had green tea. Doubt it was alcoholic. Um, I don't really have any like super like this was my favorite part of everything and like super like oh well this was like the worst part of it. It was weird that Nopal could go to a different building and but I also like that jury ended up being like kind of an important character and like all of them kind of did. There are some weird things like Rena wanting to go land. The only note I really did put is that the music didn't really fit, or didn't just always fit, but like it was nice, I guess. I don't even remember the music at this point. I didn't look it up to see if there's anything music-wise that stuck out. Let's see. Zutomayo performed the film's theme song. Kiete Shimai So Des. It seems I'm fading away. That sounds like something that would fit. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't remember I don't remember the music, but I always usually forget to talk about stuff like this. So the fact that I made a note about it must mean like it's important. Oh, look at this. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know the translation, but I recognize some of the kanji. The name for the Japanese name for this film is Ame o Sugure Hyoru Danchi, which is something about raining, or at least the Ame kanji is something about raining. I don't know exactly what that means. Usually they put like a translation or something on here, but yeah, I'm just looking at Wikipedia. Anyone could like actually look at it and see what it actually means. Because it just says drifting home. Maybe it does literally mean drifting home, and it's just long. I don't, huh? I don't know. Let me Google Translate this and see how much time I can actually waste. Nope. I wish my drink was better. Oh, sad. Drifting house complex announcing rain. That's what it says. So yeah, something about rain. Um, drifting housing complex announcing rain. Huh. That might be something like what it's supposed to mean. I don't know. It makes sense. There was a downpour. I don't know. But it's weird. Like, they're also like kids. I don't remember exactly what grade they are. Probably little kids, like elementary, probably because they do that. They make elementary schoolers seem more like high school level, and they just seem too smart for their own good, or maybe they just think they're. Because when I was a kid, I thought I was like some really smart shit, and it turns out I'm not. So maybe that's why. But that's all anime, really. That's not even a complaint I can have for this one specifically. But I don't remember exactly how old they are. They're in a soccer club. I don't know. But yeah, everything just seems. I don't know. Not really much else to say, I guess. There was rain. There was ghosts. The ghost part kind of mattered, kind of didn't. I must have been really drunk because I cannot remember the end at all. But maybe that's good. Maybe the end does reveal something that I was confused about. And if you listen to me, it's not completely spoiled. So I guess there you go. I'm glad I'm not spoiling everything for you. So you should go watch it. No huge complaints. Nothing exceptionally special. But I feel like it's still worth the watch. So go ahead and do it. I know if you're at this far, I pretty much already said everything that happened. But trust me, everything that happens in it is much better than how I describe it. You're listening to just a drunk fool trying to talk about what he likes in an anime film. So go watch it, give it your own opinion. But that's all. That's it. I'm going to just keep drunkenly rambling, so I'm just going to stop now on talking about drifting home. Ooh, it's been over a year. I wish we got out sooner, but what can I do? Oh well. But yeah, if you did watch it, let's talk about it at whatever point in any way. I guess I can plug myself here. So if you want to find more of me, you can. If you're on a platform somewhere, you can comment. You can do that there. But if not, you can find me on social medias at theacstories, or on most social medias. Unfortunately, Instagram's different. The_AC_stories. It'll be fine. Everything I'm about to tell you, the links will be in the description where you're listening to this, so you can find all that stuff there. But I also have an email, theacstories@gmail.com. I have a Discord. You can join that little group there. We can always talk whenever, whatever. So there's that. Then the newer thing that I do is I have a Ko-fi, KO-FI, and I have a $1 and $2 tier. The $1 tier is you get shout outs in anything I make, and you get access to like a special Discord channel on my server. And then the $2 tier is you get access to all of the notes I take for any of my videos or this podcast. Like I said, I mentioned before, I'm looking at my notes a lot while I'm doing this because I'm a drunk fool that needs reminding of stuff. So you can see that, and you have to decipher my terrible handwriting because on these, I don't want to type them all back out, so I'll give you a picture. And also, like, if there's any bloopers and stuff I decide to post or any weird stuff that I decide to abandon, that's all in a $2 tier. Yeah, of course, you don't have to help, but I just want to make it an option because it's great, and I super appreciate it if people do want to do that. Because, just try and put myself out there more. But, if you're on a platform where you can like, favorite, heart, do whatever, star this, that'd be cool. And if subscribe or follow, awesome also. And please, if you would, because apparently rankings matter, and people reminding me on other podcasts, I listen to those, and that's what they say to do. If you want to rate me and rate me 5 stars, that'd be awesome. If you want to rate me less, well, I guess it's your opinion, but 5 stars sounds great, or 10 if that's an option. I don't know, 100. I don't know what every platform uses. Maybe there's a 100-star ranking system out there, but rank me 5. Please. I'm not asking or begging, but I'm saying if it's what you want to do, you can. I'll be happy about it. But, yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say about myself. All I have to say about Drifting Home. Thank you so much to anyone that listened to all this and keeps listening. I have plenty of episodes. I don't remember what number this is. I feel like I'm getting close to 30 if I haven't hit it already. So, I can't believe I'm doing this. But, thank you again. Until next time, whichever next time that's going to be. I don't know anything new coming out. There might be something older too. But until next time, I'm the AC. Bye.